Before we will start, please everyone raise for our prayer and then the Father's lips. All right, you may now take your seats. Good afternoon, everyone. Just a few reminders. There is our classroom rules. If the someone is talking, please listen carefully. And if you want to talk or if you have questions, please raise your hand and then understand. So, good afternoon, everyone. Today, we're going to dive into something really interesting, the volume and surface area. Can anyone tell me uh, how do you think these concepts are used in our everyday life? Exactly. Great point. Um, what about surface area? How do you think that might be useful? Absolutely. Surface area help us understand how much materials we need to cover an object. Now let's take a look at a quick video that shows how volume and surface area are used in real life, like packaging and building structures. So now let's pay attention to the examples. They help us. We see why the concepts are so important. All right. What did you notice in the video? Can anyone share an examples of how volume or surface area are was applied? All right, everyone. Now that we've discussed volume and surface area, it's time to get hands-on and get some manipulatives for you. Cubes, rectangular prism, and cylinder and rectangular prism. Now, each group will get a set. Absolutely. You'll use a roller, measure the length. This is the length, height, and weight. You have weight. The measure are crucial for figuring out the volume and surface area. So, once you have the dimensions, you can calculate how changing each volume and surface area. Ready to explore? Great questions. Yes, increase the one dimensions will definitely change the volume. Go ahead and experiment with different dimensions and see what you find. Work together and share your discoveries with your group. So, exactly. Keep experimenting and let's see how many patterns you can uncover. Now, that you have the chance to explore with the manipulatives, let's get into formulas for calculating volume and surface area. These formulas will help us find the answers to our questions about different shapes. Now, first, let's start the cube. The formula of a cube volume. The formula for the volume of a cube is this is the formula. V equals S cubed. And then, good questions. So, where is the one side? Is the length of one side? So, if you know that length of a side, just multiply it by itself three times. Good questions. The surface area of a cube is calculate using this formula. This means you find area of one face and multiply it by 6 since the cube is has 6 face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next we have a rectangular prism. The volume of given by uh, V equals length times weight times height. So, where L is the length and W is the width, then the H is the height. For the surface area, the formula is surface area equals 2 times open parenthesis length width plus length height plus width height close parenthesis. Absolutely. Discuss your strategies, findings with your partner. Once you've finished calculating, I want you to look any patterns. For example, how does doubling the height of a cylinder affect and the volume and surface area? Great questions. If you discover any interesting patterns or observation, be ready to share with the class. I'll give you about 15 minutes to work and then we'll regroup to discuss findings. So, time's up, everyone. Let's hear what you found. Who would like to share their calculations and any patterns you noticed? Fantastic observation. Yes, the volume increased exponentially, which change and dimensions keep sharing those insights and in how we deepen our understanding. So now let's wrap up by discussing how these findings relate to the real world application. How might this knowledge help in fields like architectures or manufacturing? Now, alright everyone, now it's time to assess what you've learned about volume and surface area. I prepared a short quiz for you. This will include calculation for the shape. We explore as well as some real world problems to apply your knowledge. This one might look a bit complex, but it accounts for all face of the prism. Now let's move on to the cylinder. The volume is calculated as V equals pi radius squared times height. Great questions. The surface area of where uh, R is the radius and H is the height. Great questions. The surface area of a cylinder can be found using this formula. Surface area equals 2 pi radius times open parenthesis height plus radius close parenthesis. This formula combines the area of the two circular bases and the rectangular wrap around the sides. Now that we have these formulas, let's practice using them with the shape you measured earlier. We can see how changing the dimensions affect both volume and surface area. Clap your hands. Alright, class. Now that we've learned the formulas, it's time for a fun group activity. You'll work in pairs to calculate the volume and surface area of a shape you measured earlier. Each group will choose one cube, one rectangular prism, and one cylinder. Use the measured you record the calculate both the volume and surface area for each shape. Remember to write down your calculations and the corresponding formulas you used. Great question. You'll need to show your work for calculations and both multiple choice and open-ended questions. This way, I can see your thought process. You'll have 20 minutes To complete the quiz, remember to read each problem carefully. If you finish earlier, double check your answers. Ready. Let's start it. Is your quiz you've done? Please raise your hand. I'll collect your quiz and provide feedback. Great job on the quiz, everyone. Now let's take our understanding and volume surface area a step further. For this next activity, I want you to get creative. You're going to design a package for a product using a specific 3D shape like a cube, rectangular prism, and cylinder. Absolutely. It could be any from toy to a snack. The key is to think about dimensions your package. Once you've chosen your product, I'll need to decide um, on the shape and then calculate both the volume of the package and the surface area needed for wrapping. Um, All right, class. As we wrap up today a lesson, I want to take a moment to talk about why understanding volume and surface area and surface area. It's so important in the real world. Volume and surface area are crucial and several folds. For example, in architectures, architects needs to calculate the volume of building to ensure this safe and functional. They also consider surface area when designing walls and roofs, especially for insulations and energy efficiency. Great point. Energy engineering used the concept to design everything from bridge to vehicles. Understand how much space and object occupies help them create structures. So that we wish force and loads. For instance, if you're designing our container, they need to know the volume to ensure it and holds the right amount of materials. Exactly, it's all around us from shopping, cooking to event planning, garden. Understand these concepts equips you with valuable skills to variation effects, aspects of surface area, play, rules, and the world amount you. Great participation today, everyone. I hope you carry this knowledge with you and see this relevance in your future studies and everyday life. That's all, everyone. Let's stand for our prayer, closing prayer, and then Amen. Goodbye, class.